Hi there. In this video we're going to be extracting values from lists, from records, and from tables. We're going to put everything together and learn how to grab a single value from a table. We're going to do it sort of step by step. So to start off with, we are in extracting table elements.xlsx. We're in the get coffee from list sheet, and I'm going to click over here to be on the table. This is the query get coffee from list query. If you don't have your query list, you can go to show pane, open it up. I'm going to right click on it and hit edit. So right now what we've actually got is, let's go over here to the advanced editor. We've got a list, and if you want to see what a list looks like when you type it in by hand, we've manually entered a list. So a list is denoted with these curly braces, and you've got all the different things that are in the list right here in quotation marks, separated by commas. So right now this is a list that has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elements in it, and those elements are muffin, scone, coffee, tea, lemonade. I'm going to click done. And there you go, muffin, scone, coffee, tea, lemonade. If I go here, I'm going to change real quickly. I'm going to change tea to the number 42 for no particular reason, just to show you that you can have different data types here in your list. So now we've got a list that's got still 5 elements, except this element is now the number 42. Head back over to the advanced editor. We're going to change it back to tea, like that. Okay, and like before, the second step just points the first step. So right now output is just pointing to the list here in source. But let's say we don't want the entire list. We just want one element from this list. Well, kind of like grabbing a row from a table, when you've got a list, all you need to do is use the curly braces to extract a single element from it. So let's head up here to source. And if we want to extract the first, it's not a row, but the first element from the list, which is muffin, we'll do curly braces, 0, close curly braces, and hit enter. And we get muffin. So I'm going to click there, backspace. If we want to grab the second element, we do curly braces and 1, because it's the second row, it's 0 indexed, and we hit enter, we get scone like that. Okay, boop, boop, boop. All right, so that's how you extract items from a list. We're going to go to File, Discard, and Close. We don't need to keep that. Let's head over to Get Product Name from Record. So we're over here, we're going to click on the table, and we're going to head over to Query Get Name from Record Query. Right click on it, click Edit. So now, rather than working from a list, the source step is actually just a record that we've created by hand. So if you want to see what a record looks like when you create it by hand, it looks like this. So the source is, it's got these square braces, and then it's got a bunch of pairs of things. So I'm going to add some white space here so you can see it a little. Well, I'll walk you through it, then I'll add the white space. So you've got the name of each element in the record, so product ID, and then the value associated with it, 13. So for this record, the product ID is 13, the product name is scone blueberry, and the unit price is 3, right? So each one of these, if you'll notice, there's a, let's add some white space here, 1, 2, 3, 4. And make it a little easier to see what's going on. So we're just adding white space. Power Query doesn't really care about white space. This is just for us. Okay, so we've got source, and that source is a record, and the record has a bunch of things that are like this, where you name the value in the record and then you give it an actual value. If this sounds a little bit like a let-in, that's not a coincidence. We'll get to that later, but for now, just know this is what a record looks like. It's got these square brackets. So I'm going to click done. Okay. So we've got a record that has these 3 elements in it, and each element has a name and a value associated with it. So let's say we want to grab one of them. So let's say that we want to grab the product name. So we're going to come up here, and if we wanted to grab, if this was a list, we'd use curly braces, but that's not how we're going to do it. We're going to use square braces, square brackets, to grab one of these names. So we're going to get the product name, just type it in like that, and hit enter, and you get the product name. So here we go. Here's the original record, and we've gone to that record, we've gone to the source step, grabbed the record, and we've grabbed just the product name from it. Just this thing right here. Okay, so we're going to go to File, Discard, and Close. So now that we've got that, we can actually sort of combine the two steps together to grab, we want to grab so here we've got a list of all of our products, and they're sorted by total sales. So the Scone Mini Blueberry is the top selling product. let's say we want to write, for whatever reason, a query that does that. So I'm going to head over here to query name from row 1 and hit edit. So what we want is this value right here, and there's actually 2 ways to do it. So let's just go ahead and do them one by one. The first one is we're going to grab the name column into a list and then extract the first element in that list. So we're going to go to, we're here in output, so we want to go to the previous step, or sorted rows, and I'm going to use square braces, and we're going to get the name column, and it's going to extract it into a list. It's going to extract it into this list right here. Okay, well now if just this part, minus that right there, so if just this part is the table, and this part here extracts a list, so the combination of these two things extracts a list, we can then extract an element from the list using the curly braces. So we want the first element from that list. Or if you prefer, instead of doing 0, we can do 1 minus 1. And we're going to grab the first element from this list, or scone mini blueberry. There we go, scone mini blueberry. Okay, so again, we've gone to the table, we've extracted the name column and gotten the first element in the resulting list. So let's go the other direction. Okay, so now, rather than grabbing the first column, we're going to grab the first row to start off with. So we're going to head up here, we're going to add a curly brace. We can either do row 0 or row 1 minus 1, if that helps you to think about it. Close the curly brace. And so now when we hit enter, we're going to extract a record from row 1. It's going to be this kind of funny looking thing right here. Okay, so we've got the table, we've extracted a record from it, and now we want to grab the name element from this particular record. So to do that, we add square braces and we just type in name. And we hit enter. And that's it. Okay, so that is something you'll actually use a lot. Sometimes if you've got a report, there will be up at the top before you do your major transformations, the name of the report will be there and you'll want to grab it for whatever reason. So you could grab this to grab individual elements within a larger table. Okay, well, I do hope that was helpful, and I will see you next video.